Yo, what's going on, guys? Egal Talks Football. We're back again with another video. What's happening next? We need to know what's happening next with Arsenal Football Club. We just had a defeat yesterday versus Spurs in a preseason friendly. And you know something? At the end of the day, it's a preseason friendly. Let me know what you guys think about the reaction. Or do you think it's an overreaction from majority of the fans about everything going on with the preseason friendly? In my opinion, there is some things going on around Arsenal and other clubs in the Premier League, like Newcastle. They just rejected Liverpool's bid for Alexander Isak, their first approach. Liverpool's offer was turned down. You also have Spurs signing Paulinho. People are doing things around us. Chelsea looking at Garnacho. What's Arsenal going to do next? What's Arsenal's next big move? We got to talk about this. Plus, what are we going to do with some of our players that we potentially be moving out very soon? Now, before we go any further, please do hit that like button, please do hit that subscribe button, and let's quickly talk about none other than Leandro Trossard. Mikel Arteta on Leandro Trossard, he said he felt a little tweak. I think he tried to turn and he was pushed and he felt something muscular, so we'll have to assess him. That is what was said about him. Also, uh, are there any doubts about Gabriel Calafiori being ready for the start of the Premier League season? I don't think so. If they evolve like they're uh, evolved in like they've evolved in the last few days, Gabriel Magalhaes, Calafiori, and Timber, all three of them will be available for the first game week, hopefully. You had Thomas Frank speaking about Norgard. You had Arteta speaking about Mascara and Gyökeres. I kind of feel like he let us down only playing them for a short little bit. Gyökeres is now getting trolled like crazy, as rivals will. Don't forget, guys, that's what they do. But before we go any further, let's quickly speak about the game. And I feel like the main talking point coming out of the game were, one, David Raya being off his line for the lead up to the goal. Two, Martinelli's poor overall performance. I think he needs to improve his performances. On the left-hand side, once again, just not being good enough and people questioning Mikel Arteta's tactics. And I think it is fair to have question marks around certain things in the game. But overall, I think the way people are going as if nothing has changed. The team is the exact same, just different personnel, and everything is terrible. While our preseason games have been against Newcastle and Tottenham, it's just our first of three preseason games, and our next two is against Villarreal and Atletico Bilbao. Hopefully, we'll see better performances in those games at home versus those teams, and we'll probably score a lot more goals. The main reason why people are questioning what we're doing is, don't forget, some of the best preseasons we've had, we've gone up against MLS teams and like teams like Nuremberg over in Germany. It's not really the highest quality. This is whoever set up this preseason tour really did us dirty, because I feel like we should have been going up against teams where we could maybe gain a little bit of confidence and practice some of the things that we need to do. But hey, Arsenal fans are going to have concerns, and let me know what your concerns are in the comment section. I don't echo those concerns. I think a lot of the issues we have will be resolved, and people need to just understand we're re-evolving, figuring out how to play with the new striker. Only got 20 minutes, and for people to draw conclusions from that is ridiculous. Next, we have Eberechi Eze. Arsenal have already spoken with Eze and are holding direct talks. Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta. Of course, Eze is open to the move. Personal terms won't be an issue. Same thing being echoed here. Arsenal have informed interest clubs that like including Al Nassr, that Gabriel Martinelli is not for sale. So Arsenal being clear that they don't want to sell him. You also have now, just want to make it clear that just because they say he's not for sale doesn't mean if an offer that's ridiculous comes in that they will not sell him. They will still sell him if a proper offer comes in. Next. That was weird. Next, Arsenal's stance on Eze remains unchanged despite the release clause being removed. Palace want at least 35 guaranteed full package near the original release clause. Arsenal are hoping to land him for closer to 55 million. So Palace want 35 million guaranteed upfront cash, and the remaining 30 something million to be handed in over a certain period of time. But Arsenal want 55 million total package. So they're negotiating. Sorry. So they're negotiating the price down to see what they can do with Eze. Personally, the main conversation on social media has not even been about the price tag for Eze. It has been his position and should he play as a left winger for Arsenal? Is he good enough to play as a left winger for Arsenal? Is left wing his best position? And the whole thing that I say is it's not about his default position, but what area of the pitch he takes up when he is playing. And I have shown this on numerous occasions to you guys, and I'll show it to you guys again right now. This is Eberechi Eze's heat map and which area of the pitch he holds up for Palace. Sorry, which area of the pitch he holds up for Crystal Palace on a regular basis. And on a regular basis, when playing for Crystal Palace, he does occupy the default left wing position or left 10 position, and he's literally all over that whole left flank. This is what we need, somebody who's forward thinking, that can get onto their right foot from the left hand side and take shots, come inside, create and unlock defenses. And I do think people are saying, you know what, we should also go get a Leao, we should also get somebody else in. I hear that, but I do think he could do a really good job on the left wing for us. And even if needed, he could play as a left 8 if needed. So Eberechi Eze does bring a lot of qualities that we need to the team, especially that creativity. Another person who can drive at defenses and break down defenses. It's just what will happen that now that the release clause will expire tomorrow. Release clause will expire today. The release clause will expire today. So what will happen after the release clause expires? Will we still be able to get Eberechi Eze, or will Palace say, you know what, now that his release clause is gone, we don't want to sell him? Because their stance has always been clear. They want to keep their best players. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Eberechi Eze. And Arsenal, Eze's move conditions on one aspect. Arsenal's number one priority right now. Which player is headed out the door? This is the next question. Which players are headed out the door? We're gonna have to speak about that another day. Like, I see Trossard is headed out the door reportedly. I've seen reports about Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko, and Reece Nelson potentially headed to Fulham. That is another thing on the cards. We've seen reports all about Eze, Trossard potentially being linked to teams in the Premier League and Dortmund. That's going to be interesting. How does this get affected by the fact that Dortmund are after bringing back Jadon Sancho? What else is there? Rodrygo. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't think we're gonna get Rodrygo unless Real Madrid lower their valuation. And even if they lower their valuation, then clubs like Liverpool will be sniffing about. And if he lowers his wage demands, he'll have to lower his wage demands, have to lower the valuation from the club, and then there is maybe a possibility. But even then, I still think there is a higher possibility that Arsenal go for Rafael Leao, who is on 105K a week over in AC Milan, and he's also a player who Arsenal are looking at as a potential left winger option. Andrea Berta has called Leao. Berta has been on the phone with Leao. This was when was this that Berta called Leao? Berta called Leao a couple months ago. They said that Andrea Berta was on the phone with Rafael Leao. Yeah, this was May 24th. This was reported that Rafael Leao and Arsenal were linked with each other. Andrea Berta had a telephone exchange with Rafael Leao a dozen days ago. The Portuguese winger is on the short list for Arsenal and is not a top target, but Arsenal are exploring avenues before deciding. So Rafael Leao could be an option for Arsenal. A lot of people saying just sell Trossard and Martinelli and go and bring in Leao and Eze, but I don't know if that's going to happen. For now, we'll have to wait and see. I just want to show you guys one more thing. This is the reported third kit for Arsenal. I think it does look quite decent. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And overall, I'll just rate it solid 8 out of 10. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10. You got to see it being modeled by the actual players before you start judging it. But yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back later tonight at 8 o'clock with a big panel show. It's going to be heated. There's going to be arguments. It's going to be everything you guys always look forward to in one of those panel shows. So please keep an eye out for it. And yeah, I'll leave you guys there. Hopefully you guys have yourself a wonderful day. Catch you guys in the next video. Love for the love. Peace.